Sometimes when we go through one thing or the other, we just assume that it just happened. It happened by chance. But is there really an end game? Yes, today I want to talk about the issue between Ned Nwoko and Regina Daniels. Does Ned Nwoko have any end game? Was it planned from the beginning? Well, if you want to know more, then stick around. Those that don't know, there's something happening currently between a Nigerian senator, Ned Nwoko, and his wife, a Nollywood actress, Regina Daniels. Yes, there has been an altercation in the household, and as a result of that, a video was leaked where she was talking about how she was being treated, that she's experiencing violence, and a whole lot of things. That's not what I really want to talk about today. Yes, what I want to talk about, should we just look at it like that, or is there something else attached to it? Yes, I served in Abuja, and when I was serving in Abuja, I had a lot of propositions from politicians. Yes, because of course, as we all know, for some that don't know, the FCT is the Federal Capital Territory. So you have a lot of senators here and a lot of politicians there in Abuja. So as a youth corper, I had a lot of propositions from senators. Yes, I had from senators, I had from very prominent people. In fact, after my youth service, I got a message from a very prominent Nigerian. I don't even want to talk about that now, but I just want you to know that as a young person, if you're in Abuja, you don't have to be particularly beautiful. You don't have to be anything. You will always get men, especially married men. Some are politicians, some are businessmen that are interested in you. So this video particularly is to warn young people. You know, when you're a young girl, you come to Abuja, you get a lot of offers. You think, oh, that they love you or that it's because you are particularly beautiful. It's not necessarily so. Now, in this video, I'll talk about 3 people I know personally. I'm not talking about people that told me about somebody else. 3 people I know personally. Today, they have transited. Today, they are no longer in this world. And once upon a time, they had relationships with either senators or very prominent Nigerian politicians. Now, the first person I want to talk about, of course, I'm not going to mention any names, and I'm going to say it in a way that you won't be able to identify those people, because I want to respect their memory, and of course, if their families are watching this, so that they don't get a bit upset and all that. Their family members get to watch this video. But there's one in particular. At that point, she was about 19, 20, 21. And she was having a fling, what I would describe as a fling, with a Nigerian senator. Once in a while, she'll go to meet him in a hotel or wherever they meet, and they will do stuff, and he would sleep with her. So at that time, she felt like she had an edge. You know, one thing about young people, when you feel that, oh, you are beautiful or someone is interested in you, you think that you are gaining from him. Even if he's giving you $10 million every time he sleeps with you, what he's taking from you is much more than he's giving. So she continued this relationship, or this situation. She wasn't really a relationship. Once in a while, she'll just go and sleep with him, and that was it. And what now happened that after some years, she now became born again. She really changed her ways. She was born again. She even stopped wearing makeup. She stopped putting on earrings. She was very focused, and she got married. But 1 year into her marriage, or 1 or 2 years now, she transited. She had an illness, and till today I don't know what exactly happened to her. But at first, when the thing happened, I just felt, oh, you know, people transit. No, it's not everyone that will live to an old age. So it's not like I'm trying to make fun of her, or I'm trying to, no. It's just, I just felt, oh, it was a coincidence. People pass away, and of course I felt bad because I was quite friendly with her, and she was really a nice person. You know, sometimes people are misguided. Even at that time, I was a bit misguided. Yes, I was a bit misguided, and once in a while I talk about the mistakes I made in the past on this channel. So, but that's not the issue for today. Now, the second person had a relationship, at least a serious, to a large extent. She was on the older side. She had already graduated. That first person did not go to university, did not attend university. In fact, she was kind of from a financially challenged background, but she was working in Abuja for a politician. So I'm sure and she was living in an area where politicians live. So I'm sure that's how she got in. That's how he proposed. That's how he met her the first time. I don't know exactly how they met, but yes, the second person was in Abuja, and the person served in Abuja, and she had a friend of hers was from the south part of Nigeria, and she had an uncle that was a prominent politician that was unfortunately even assassinated at that time. I won't say the exact year so that people will not add 2 and 2 together, but he was from from the ruling party, one of the ruling party then, not the ruling party now, that particular politician, and he was assassinated. She dated him, she dated several men, not only him, she dated some other married men. I didn't really know how far she was dating those men, really. I don't, at that time, when you're young, you don't really take interest in on who's your friend. You just flow. We went to the same university. I wasn't close to her, but we both served in Abuja, so it was just like a friendship of convenience. But she was nice to me. I don't know. She was extremely nice to me. So I'm not saying she was nasty to me, but her lifestyle was not something that she was proud of. So she didn't tell me exactly all the things she was really doing. But I would calculate her two and two. And at that time, I didn't really care. That is when you're in your 20s, usually you don't really care about things like that. But as you get older, you realize that the mistakes you make really matter. So that's why I want to help young people so that they don't make the kind of mistakes I made or people that I knew in the past made. That's why I'm very interested in Gen Zs in this channel. Life is not just you just do what you like and you think you can get away with it. Nobody gets away with anything. That's the truth. So she dated the guy and she finished dating him. She dated other guys and she was doing well. But after a while, I noticed that if I continued being her friend, the path I would go through would not be a nice one. And I was changing also. I was also getting closer to God. And I didn't really want to live that kind of lifestyle. I knew that it wasn't anything to write home about. So and luckily for me, I left Abuja after a while. So she was here in Abuja and she continued doing her thing. And I didn't keep in touch with her till we reconnected at a point on Facebook. And I was happy. Then at that point, after like 6 months after reconnecting with her on Facebook, but it wasn't like the kind of friendship that I would call her, she'll call me, we'll just say hi on Facebook once in a while. If I see her post, she was traveling all over the world, I would just like it. And by then, I think she already had 2 children. We had 2 children for a particular man. I don't know if she married that guy. Most likely not. If an elderly man from a prominent family in the southwest part of Nigeria. I think he'll be a politician, but once I call the name, you will know the name. The name is used for a road or an area in Lagos, but I won't mention the family. That's how prominent the family she had a child for. The man she had a child for, the family he came from. I don't know if they got married. I really don't know. Now, so then after I wasn't on Facebook for a while. So I just decided one day, you know how it is. I just went on Facebook and I was like, and I saw it was her birthday. So I wished her a happy birthday. And then a relation of hers now sent me a message and was like, she's no longer with us. She has passed away. I was so shocked. I felt so bad because she was really nice to me. And I was like, oh, what happened, But I didn't really get the details till some time when I had an opportunity to visit a relative of hers that lived in another town. And she told me that she passed away. She was ill and she passed away. But she didn't really explain. Sometimes some kind of illnesses. One thing we should realize, even when an illness is diagnosed by a doctor, it may have some spiritual implications, or it may be a spiritual cause. We are Africans, let's be honest and talk about this kind of things. Someone in Europe and America that watches this video may not connect, but we are Africans, we know what happens. So she passed away. She was ill for a while. She was taken to some big churches where they do signs and wonders and miracles, but unfortunately it didn't help her and she passed away. So that was the second person. It didn't really click at that point. Now the third person was closer in a sense, but I'm not going to say how close the person was, but was closer and had what I would call a very strong bond or very strong connection to a senator. This one, I'm sure, a senator. Yes, the person is no longer a senator, but the person was a senator at a point and was in Abuja. Maybe the person is still in Abuja. I don't know. But if I call the name, everybody will know the person. But this is not a time to start calling names. It's just to tell young people that you have to be very careful. Don't just think you're in Abuja or you are wherever you are. A man is asking you out. You don't know what his intentions are. Now, the third person had a relationship and, of course, gave birth for the man. One child. She had a child before and things were smooth and everything. The man's mother liked her. He was married before, but I think she was the second wife. I don't think he actually drove the first wife away. And today, as I speak to you, she has passed away and she was ill. And there are also some things surrounding how she passed away, because I wasn't it was like we were close. When I say close, it's because we had to be close. You understand? Some people have to be close, even if you don't see, but based on family ties like that. I don't want to go more than that. So what I just want people to know, young people, I'm not saying this thing to shame people. Anybody can pass away at any time. Once you finish your purpose as a human being, you should know your purpose. Once you finish your purpose, there's no reason for you to be on earth. So John the Baptist finished his purpose quite early and he transited. Even Jesus, he's on earth. Yes, as a human being, he stayed up till 33 years. He had 3 years to do his ministry and he left. So I'm not saying we all have to be old or making fun at anybody. Once your purpose is defined and you finish your purpose, really there's nothing you should do on earth, because you are going to a better place. That's the truth. This place is not the best place to be. There are better places. So I'm not here to laugh at anybody or to say that, oh, it's because of this they transited. No, people transit every day, both good and bad people. But I just want to warn young people, and I'm not saying this because I don't know anything about Ned Nwoko. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about his relationship with Reginald Daniels, what the end game really was meant to be, or what it was planned. But as a young person, when you think that these men, they just like you, sometimes they exchange something from you. Yes, they want something from you. You have a gift, you don't even know. Sometimes you are so blessed. God has a purpose for you. There's something he wants you to do. And these men, because they are spiritual, for you to be a politician, especially in Abuja, you know, it's not a children's game. You know what they do? They do things, at least to a large extent. I'm not saying all politicians, but we are Nigerians. We know what they do. That is why when they're in power, they don't do what they're supposed to do, because they have allegiance to people, that they have more allegiance to one godfather somewhere, or one person there, one babalawo or somebody somewhere. That is how the political system runs in Nigeria. And that is why we are praying that people that love God sincerely should take over the mantle, should be in charge, should be leaders, should rule over us, should have, or not to rule. When you say rule over, it's like you are trying to like oppress people. To lead people, we should have better leaders in Nigeria. That's just the truth. The political system is funny, but it doesn't mean that good people should not aspire to be a politician. If you have interest in politics and governance, please feel free. There are spaces for people that deserve to be there, not those people that are there because of some funny things. So what I just want to say, when you're a young girl in Abuja, don't think, or any other town, some of these politicians, they know what you carry. They take what you have and give you pittance. Even if they buy a house for you in London, in Canada, it's not what your soul, is not what your life, is not what, sometimes they exchange and you end up being useless, or you transit before your time. You transit, they use you as a kind of, should I say sacrifice and what. So this video, I know it's a very stern video, but I just have to come out and say it as it is. So if you're a young person, just find yourself, know God, know his plan for you. His plan for you is always good. You don't need to start sleeping with a man, one man or the other, because you want something. Even if you end up marrying him, it doesn't mean that it's the end of the story. They could still have long-term plans, and those long-term plans may not be good for you and your future. So this is a warning to everybody. I just pray that Ned Nwoko and Reginald Daniels, they sort out the issues, they sort out the issues, and they both submit to God. They both submit to God, because if they don't, whatever they do, they will just be playing. God is the final authority, and both Reginald Daniels and Ned Nwoko, they need to submit to God. I'm not here to preach to anybody, but I'm just here to share some advice. I've made my mistakes in the past, and I'm sorry for them, and there are things that's why in this channel from time to time I talk about things to help to guide young people so they don't make the mistakes that I made. And I also try to talk about trending issues sometimes. So if this channel is a channel you like to be a part of, then why don't you subscribe? So till I see you in the next video where I talk about something that you may really want to ponder about. Take care. And